has been, well, basically... No, I'm going to start that again. Hello and welcome to FIFA Saved My Life. Thank you very much for joining me on this Tuesday. And you know what happens on a Tuesday? We get...
Tactics Tuesday.
Yes, we get Tactics Tuesday. We are Tactics Tuesday, and we've actually had a request again for Tactics Tuesday. Someone had a bit of a mare over the weekend for Weekend League. They've got a very good squad, to be fair, and they've asked me if they could have some tactics that they're looking at. Now, they've requested a tactic which, funny enough, I switched to halfway through Weekend League. I was very similarly having a bit of a nightmare over Weekend League. I was kind of winning one, losing one, sort of winning a few, losing a lot. It wasn't going well at all. So halfway through I stopped and sort of restructured my team a bit and restructured my tactics. And I came out with the 4-2-3-1 tactic, which I know a lot of pros use, and I did a video a little while back again. But I researched it. I had a look on sort of how different people are using it. I played a few friendlies. And I came up with a really good sort of solution to it, and it saved my Weekend League, to be honest. It saved my Weekend League. I was able to get the 16 or 17 wins or whatever I needed to get into gold. And really good. I wish it hadn't ended in the end, because I was on a strong run come the end, and could have been a really good Weekend League, and I was actually really looking forward to it because I've got some good players. I packed Dybala during the picks when we got the guaranteed Italian packs. I managed to get myself, I went out and bought, I had $1 million odd in coins, so I decided to spend them because there's no point in hanging on to them. So I went out and bought myself, Alonso. I've managed to get Insigne twice in packs. I went out and got myself a Messi, a Ronaldo, Carvajal, Hernandez, people like that. I went out and bought just to make my team the way I want it. I want a really good fun team. I want an OP team. I want a team that I can really get behind and enjoy playing with. Not 100% sure on Ronaldo. I've got to admit, I'm the jury's out on that. He's scoring goals for me every game, which is kind of important. But I just really don't like him as a player on FIFA. I find he doesn't get into the game, and he's really one-trick pony. He either scores or he's good at passing, which is great, and that should sound like brilliant. But you get Messi on the ball and you can do all sorts of stuff with that guy, and he just feels great to have, and I score more goals with him and that. So I think Ronaldo might have his day very soon, and I might sell him again and go out and get someone else. But that's what it's all about, finding players that make you happy and make you smile. But along the way, you've got to find a formation that's going to help you do that as well. So hopefully today I can go into one of my in-depth analysis on the 4-2-3-1 formation, which is very popular. I think it's probably the most popular formation on FIFA this year. I've obviously got my new format, as you can see, so this is going to be different for me on how I'm going to do this, so you do have to bear with me. Hopefully it transpires and comes across on the screen like the old one did. I don't know. I'm sort of playing this by ear as I do it. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure you hit a like and a subscribe, and I'll tell you why, because I give 50% of my profits to charity. That's Mind the charity for mental health and well-being. So there you go. That's a good reason to hit a like and a subscribe, isn't it? Plus I'm giving you some good tactics here for Weekend League coming up. We've got obviously a couple of big Weekend Leagues coming up soon. We're going to have everybody in packs who are, the ultimate tots. So yeah, you want to get yourself into Weekend League. You want to get yourself in there with a tactic that you're happy with and players that you're happy with. Maybe to pack yourself one of the big boys in the long run. So yeah, this is quite important. So this is probably the tactic I'm going to go into Weekend League from now on. I've been playing some rivals today and haven't lost a game with it, so I'm comfortable with this formation now. I'm comfortable with the tactics, and I'm happy to share them with you. So let's do so. Right, so first things first. Let's get back into it. Right, there you go. So we got obviously this team. This is just the way I set out for best for Chem, not for the way I play, as you know. So I go to defensive. I've got attacking, which is my old formation, which I can still do if I want to, and I find that a bit more attacking. I tend to not score too many goals with the 4-2-3-1 formation. It's not a ultra, I'm going to score 10 goals unless they're a really bad team. But you tend not to let very many goals in either. So it's a really good, solid, I'm going to win a game kind of formation rather than my other formation, which is a 4-1-2-1-2 second version, which I've done videos on before, and I still love that formation, and it is really attacking. And if I'm struggling, I do tend to sort of change to that formation. But we're going to concentrate on this formation today. So here it is. So we got the 4-2-3-1, and like I said, in attacking, I've still got the 4-1-2-1-2 there, and that is the two I use. So this is the one that I've been using, and this is how I'm set up. So on defensive style, as you can see, we've got pressure on heavy touch. Now this can run your players down for stamina wise a little bit, but most of us, and I mean most of us, now have great teams, or if not, very, very good teams with OP players that we've either picked up from SBCs or we've managed to get in packs. So we've got the TOTS players, and that most TOTS players have 90 plus stamina. So I'm finding this is much better, and a lot of people don't have this. The pressure on heavy touch. Now again, obviously it's not as if you press after loss, you are just gonna you are gonna run down by about 70 minutes. Your whole team's gonna be absolutely gone, and constant pressure is like last 10 minutes, and you really need it. You need a win, and you are 1-0 down or something like that. That's the best way to get the ball back, but you're not going to do it. Where pressure on heavy touch, especially with the players, you can see from the diagram down there, as soon as there's a heavy touch, your players, and we've mostly got fast players, good stamina, they will converse on players when they have the heavy touch, and you will get the ball back more often than not from either up front, midfield or defence. And it's a great way of making sure that you're pressing all over the pitch. You don't necessarily always control all the players, you can't, so you've got a great way then of making sure that your players are on the player, he has a bad touch, and you get the ball back. So I like pressure on heavy touch at the moment. A lot of people go balanced. I really like pressure on heavy touch. You seem to just win the ball back an awful lot more and a lot faster, and it upsets players as well because you're on them straight away. They don't have a minute's peace, and then they make mistakes because they're getting a bit ragey. They get a bit ragey, and you get the goal and you can get a rage quit. And in weekend league, I hate to say that's good. That's the way you want it. You guarantee to win that way. Sounds horrible, and I don't like people quitting. I'd rather play 90 minutes of FIFA and enjoy myself. But if you get the rage quit and you need the wins, you're guaranteed to win. And I think pressure on heavy touch is the way to go. Width wise, again, you're looking at sort of 4 to you've got 5 to 6. I like 6 because it means that when they're coming at you, you basically spread across the entire pitch. There's no, if they have wingers, if they're winger heavy, or if they've got some clever, way of getting extra players down the wing, which a lot of teams do at this moment in time, you are covering both wings, you're covering the centre, and again with your holding midfielders, they drop right in as well. So I find 6 is great. We've got depth of 4. Again, you can have 5 if you want, depending on how attacking you want to be. I have 4. I hate 1. The amount of people you have at Weekend League who clearly have 1 depth, and you are trying to play these guys, and they are just camped in their half looking for sort of a break. It makes it very unenjoyable, and I don't understand why you would do it. But I like 4. It's not deep enough to get yourself caught on the counter all the time. Although I do have fast defenders, I have Ramos and Smalling in at the moment. They're both super fast defenders. But again, you've got enough then to also go forward and sort of catch out. So you could have 4, you could have 5. It's really up to you, but I go 4. I have fast build up. Now the reason being is exactly what we've just spoken about, in the fact that I like to invite pressure on, and as soon as I can get the ball back due to the pressure on heavy touch, I like to break with the ball, and I like the idea that we have a striker and 3 cams, if you like, going to break and give us goals. So they are ready for action. You are really going to get something from those cams and the striker, because they are sat waiting for the movement from your midfielder. Now I've got very good, I'll go through my team afterwards and why I've got players in the position I've got them in, so you'll see why I mean that, and I'll go back over it. But that's the reason I have fast build up, is due to the fact that I like the fact that you can also have long ball. To be fair, long ball works exactly the same way, in the fact that it's not about just sticking balls over the top, it's about players getting ready to move faster. I like fast build up because I like to play tiki-taka along the way. I'm a very tiki-taka type player, rather than just hoof it and run. I like to pass my way through, and that's why I like players like Messi and Dybala and people like that. Width-wise, we have the quite wide going on. We have the 7, due to the fact that we want our cams and our left and right back to be wide out. We want them to go out and fan out, due to the fact that it gives us more room out in the wings to utilise, and we're not crowding the centre. We've got already a central striker, we've got a cam in the middle, we've got 2 holding midfielders behind there, we've got enough in the centre. What we want is options out on the wing. So yeah, and it's not too far. I don't like changing it too rapidly. I wouldn't like it like that and that, because because the game struggles to work out the difference between that, and it almost has a far. It just kind of doesn't work out how one is the difference, where if it's very similar, they transition very nicely, I just like to have players out on the wing ready. So when you've got your Cam and your Lamb, your Lamb and your Ram, sorry, they are players. I've got people like Insigne, I've got Dybala out there, because they're very easy. They're wingers by trade to a certain degree. They're very fast, very tricky. You want that type of player who can get out on the wing, stick a cross in, cut in. All ways that you're going to get a goal. So that's why I have 7. We've got players in the box, nice and easy. Again, I don't go for, let's be careful and just have 1-2 players and hope that we get in there. I'm all for, let's get everybody in the box as much as possible. You don't want too many because it's a scramble, but you want enough. You've only got 4 players up front, because you're going to tell, again, as I always say with these videos, the instructions that we give on instructions overrule these instructions. So really all we're ever going to have in the box, unless someone you push them physically yourself, is your Lamb, your Ram, your Cam and your striker. That's the players, but we want them in the box or in and around the box, because you want to be able to aim in there and hit someone sooner rather than later to get a goal. Corners, I have 2, because I've always had 1. I find 1 to I wasn't scoring at all with them, and then what I do is I take a short corner. I like to cut back, and then someone like Messi will stick in a corner, and someone like Ramos will still be in there, and usually head a ball in, and I can score a goal or 2 with him. But I want 1 or 2 players to maybe pick up the odds and sods if he doesn't score. So 2 is good, but free kicks are a waste of time unless you've got them on target, and then you're going to score them if you've got anybody decent like Messi, etc. So I only have 1 there, and I don't want to get caught on the hop on that one. Let's have a look at the formation. So this is how it looks. This is the type of players I've got in there, and this is why I'm going to tell you. I've got Messi up front, mainly because he's super fast, really good at shooting and scoring, as he would be. and really good at dribbling as well. So it gives you 3 different outlets there. If you get the ball up front, he can hold it up, he can dribble past players, he can score with the ball, and he can outrun defenders. So you've got everything you want there. No problem whatsoever. At the moment, I've got Cristiano Ronaldo as my cam, and he does score loads of goals there. And like I said, it's a real pain because I don't like the way he feels in game. I don't know why. I feel he feels really clunky, and I don't really get anything from him other than goals, which shouldn't be a problem. But again, going back to what I said at the very beginning, I want to enjoy the game, and I'm not enjoying him necessarily very much. I enjoy Dybala far more and Insigne far more, so he might work his way out of the club. But at the moment, he is a goal-scoring cam, and the reason being is obviously he is there behind Messi to link up play, and he is a goal threat. We've got Insigne and Dybala as our lamb and ram, and the reason being is obviously, like I said, they are both very fast, both great at dribbling, both great at crossing, and both got scoring ability as well. So you have a threat in all 4 of those players, and that's what you want really. Now, holding midfielders, I've got Luis Alberto and Alan. Now, Luis Alberto is one of the best attacking players in the game at this moment, I think, personally. He could easily go to the cam and do it, and that might be what ends up happening, is I might put up front in my formation, another holding midfielder, and just have another holding midfielder in there. But what I do like is someone like Luis Alberto in there who's got the ability. He has actually 80 odd defending, stand tackle, etc. So he is no slouch when it comes to stand tackling and getting the ball back. He also is quite tall, so he's good at winning headers. His passing is off the charts. So the idea with him is he will win the ball back and distribute it really well. Imagine him just passing it up to Dybala, nice and easy balls, cross balls to Insigne, or a ball right through to Messi to run onto and score a goal, which happened quite a lot during weekend league. So Luis Alberto, plus the fact is he does hit a long shot really well. So if he comes up towards the edge of the area, he can strike a ball and knock it in the top of the goal. I think I scored like 17 goals with him over weekend league, and he was a goal threat. But I have him. You'll see his individual instructions in a minute. He doesn't, I don't have him go forward or anything, but he is a cultured midfielder that can distribute it a bit. Alan is a bit more of our blunt tool. Alan is a definite holding midfielder, although he does have amazing, sort of talent when it comes to passing and tackling and dribbling and all the rest of it. He still feels amazing on the ball. And again, he's one of those players that I talk about. I really enjoy him, even though he's only just a 91 player. I genuinely love having him in my team. He just, I know he's going to tackle, I know he's going to get the ball back, and I know he's going to run with it really well. So Alan is in there, and he is my out and out sort of tackler, and he's the one who sort of protects these two there and drops in between. So we've got Smalling and Ramos. I've put those both in. They work really well together. They're both fast. They're both tall. They're both strong. They both win the ball back equally well. I can't be more impressed with Smalling if I tried. I really like that card. I was glad. It was literally my last pick. I did all those upgrade packs, and my last one just before 6 o'clock gave me Smalling. I couldn't be more pleased with him. And he's, I've got quite a few defenders on the bench and sort of in around the reserves, and he blows them out of the water. Ramos is obviously godlike, so that's why he's in there, and he is just phenomenal. I've got Carvajal mainly for a good link, and he obviously stays back, but he is a great defender as well, and he's decently fast. And the same with Hernandez. He is rapid, fast. He can make recoveries, but he is also an amazing left back. And if I want to push these on, if I'm losing, both of them are more than capable of pushing down the wings on command and crossing the ball in and scoring the odd goal or two. And obviously I've got Ter Stegen in goal as well, so that says that all, doesn't it really? So we got Ter Stegosaurus in goal. Right, these are the instructions then to make more sense of it. So up front, we have stay central there. because we want to know where the striker is. We don't want him wandering around, although Messi is ideal for that type of play. You don't want him all, sort of left, right and all over the place. You want to know where he is, so you can just plonk that ball across and have an outlet at all times. You have mixed attacking runs because it's Messi. He's not a target guy, clearly. Really not. He's not getting behind, really. You don't want him on that either, and he's not a false nine because you don't want him to drop back too far either. So you want him to make his own mind up. He's a clever card. He will, the AI will sort of decide where he's best off depending on the play you're going, and you want him on stay forward because again, you don't want him coming back into midfield. As useful as he is in midfield and as good as he is in midfield, you want someone who's going to be up front all the time and sort of just be your one outlet. Now we're going to go with Cristiano Ronaldo. So your cam, we have come back on defence. Now he fills in the gap between Luis Alberto and Alan, and fills in the gap so there isn't a massive hole in that middle of midfield, and he really does. Again, even though he gets tired, he's good at doing it, and it's one of the reasons I've kept Cristiano Ronaldo in there, is he is actually very good at filling in that gap. He's got that funny sort of weird run that he has, but he does seem to sort of get in there, fill in the gap, get the ball back, and game very similar to Luis Alberto, great at distributing it. We have get into the box for a cross. Of course we have. We want him. He's one of our 4 attackers, isn't he? So he's going to get in the box for cross, but we do not have him on freedom. Now that's very important. We want him to stick to position. That means he goes up and down, all the way through the middle. And we also have conservative interceptions, because what we want is we don't want to tire him out too much. Even if he's got 99 stamina, which most of them, he hasn't, but you'd have to have in there. It would tire out the most to go up and down. So you want him, if it's a lost cause, you don't want him doing that. That's what you have Alan and Luis Alberto for. But if there is a chance of him getting it back and he's pressure on heavy touch, that's why he will come back, and he will be an extra midfielder who will fill in that gap, make sure there isn't big gaps and they have lots of time on the ball. So that is your cam. Now, your Lam and your Ram are identical. And what we have with them is basic defense support. We don't want them coming back too much, and we don't want them going forward too much. What we want is, as the game dictates, they will do that. They will do whatever needs to be done. Again, exactly the same balance, crossing runs. So if the ball's going into the box, chances are they are going to the box. If it's not such a great play, they might end up staying on the edge of the area waiting for the ball. Let them do it. Again, I've got Insigne and Dybala, both of them clever cards. Both of them will know what's going on, and again, the same for yourself. That's the type of player you want. You do have free roam on these two though. So Insigne and Dybala both have free roam, which is a change from my old formation. And the way I used to do it is I used to have the cam on free roam and the other two on come back. Actually, it works far better now. I don't know if it's something that's changed in the game, but I have found that if you have the two on the edge free roam, they just pop up, and the computer has 2 cards that they don't know where they're going to be, so it works really well. And again, obviously normal interception. So that is exactly the same for Insigne, as you can see. So the only thing you change is everything's balanced, but you have free roam on there. We have Luis Alberto, and again the same with Alan. These are 2 identical ones. You could have Luis Alberto as balanced attack, so you could have it because he is that clever attacker, but I like to think that I can push him forward whenever I want to. We've got cutout passing lanes. Man mark is a waste of time. I don't know why it's in there. It doesn't ever seem to work. I don't know, maybe just for me, I don't know, but it doesn't work. But cutting out lanes, you do get players make runs, and the other, your defensive player will step in the way and take it out, and it looks really good, and it also feels really good. And when you've got it on top of the fact that they're on sort of the pressure that we've got on their pressure on heavy touch, but cut out passing lanes works really, really well, guys. Works really well. So have cut passing lanes on that. Stay back while attacking, of course, because they're obviously your holding midfielders. You have normal interceptions, so again, they're gonna choose what they're gonna be at the time, and cover centre, so they are covering the centre, because these guys aren't going anywhere. So you have stay back while attacking on your left and right back. Stay back while attacking, as you can see. Don't need anything else. And on your goalkeeper, I have balanced on crosses. Now, I did have come for crosses all the time. I found he did come for crosses all the time and just punched it out and really caused more problems than good. Now he chooses whether he's going to come for cross, because before I found that there was defenders that could have got the ball and actually he takes the ball off of them rather than letting me take the ball and actually getting a decent pass off. What he's doing is just fisting it out, if you like, or fist on ball, and getting rid of the ball, and then it's just coming straight back into the box again by the opposition. This way, if it's better for the defender, the goalkeeper will let that happen. But I do have sweeper keeper. He does save 2 or 3 goals a weekend league with sweeper keeper. It is definitely worth having on. And obviously with roles, it's up to you where you have your players and that. So that is my 4-2-3-1. That is how I play. That is the formation that I did. That is what saved my weekend league, to be fair, guys. Like I said, this is how I set up when I start. You can set up any way you want. And in-game, I just go to defensive, and that is it. I do obviously have my 4-2-1-2-1-2 as a bit of a backup. And it, like I said, it's far more attacking. So if that's something that you want to watch, there is other videos on the channel on that one. I haven't changed anything on that formation. So if you want to sort of have the same mix as me, by all means, put the 2 together and have one attacking and one as defensive. It isn't a defensive formation, but it certainly, you let in a lot less goals than you do on some formations, and you do score goals as well, but not a plethora of goals. You won't win games 7 or 8-0 unless they're really bad. What you do is win 2 or 3-0, but you'll be comfortable. They will struggle to get past you. That is a really good formation, guys. That is the one I'm recommending for your next weekend league. Give it a go. Let me know how you get on. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a subscribe. Take care of yourselves, guys. And if you can't, find someone who can. Bye-bye.